Got a new phone.
I know, yeah, I saw on the old Insta.
Mm-hmm. Nice shot, weren't it? I was well impressed with it. I was like, oh, that sunlight's just right. Let me just take a nice little photo.
You need to send it off to Samsung and see if you can get credit for
see if I can get a job.
Yeah.
Do you need a photographer, guys?
Yeah.
I'm here. Oh.
My
camera's gone.
Oh. It didn't like that cracking of the knuckles.
It didn't, did it? There we go. Right. Yeah, no, it's well nice. It's so good. Oh, I'm in love with it.
I'd like to have seen you taking that shot though, like you crouched down,
like
that, just taking the shot.
That was about the 12th picture I think I'd taken. But I was sat on the chair, and they've got like a puff. Do you still call it a puff? Can we still call it a puff? Footstool.
I call it a pouffe.
A pouffe.
Yeah.
Oh, you posh little thing. Yeah, pouffe. I mean, puff. It's a puff, isn't it? It's a puff.
I don't know anymore.
Right, with a footstool.
Yeah.
So I'm playing with my new phone. I'm getting it out and whatever. I was like, I need to get this on the gram. And it's just a nice grey background for the black phone to be on. I was like, this. So I literally just sat there taking photos. I didn't have to crouch or anything. But as I said, it was probably about my 12th photo that I was like, yeah, that'll do. And I've got about 20-something likes. So I'm quite happy with it.
That's what you need to say to Samsung. Look, 27 likes. Give me a job doing this. But what I think you should do is put up that picture, but then get some to take a picture of you taking that picture.
Right.
So we can see kind of, I think that picture would get more likes than the actual
picture.
So
you want me to reenact it?
Yeah. Now, any artistic picture from now on like that, I want you to get someone else, maybe like Lucy, to take a picture of you taking that picture, so we can see what goes on in making that kind of picture.
Fine. Okay. I'll think about it, and I'll let you know. How are you, David? How's life?
Fine. My hair is it's just bulking out now.
It's a little bit of an afro.
Yeah, it's not going man bun at all.
No,
we're not going man bun at all. It's just kind of really thickening out.
Have you tried to comb it back?
The problem is my hair's that thick that it just won't.
All right, show off.
Do that.
Some of us ain't got thick hair.
I've got my granddad.
Some of us have to buy hair thickening shampoo just to make sure that their hair doesn't look as thin as it is.
Hair thickening shampoo? Is that that German one that's advertised?
Oh no, we I get L'Oreal Elvive hair thickening. Yeah, it's cheap but cheerful.
Cheap but cheerful.
Otherwise, look at state like that forehead in itself. It's not good.
Yeah, but that's just I've got a massive forehead anyway. But if I put my hair,
but back, that's the image of the man bun. That's how we start the man bun.
That's what we need to do. But it's too. I think I've realised it's too thick. It won't ever go to a length of a man bun.
Right. Well, you're still going to try, David. Don't back out of it.
I'm going to let it grow out until finally.
At least the 12th of April.
Yeah, until finally the hairdressers are open, and then I'll be first on that door. Give me a haircut, please. Well, on a more hair-related nonsense, it's time for this week's ADQ. Welcome, everybody. It's a podcast where we try and debate the questions you never thought you needed answering. And joining me, as always, this week, don't worry, Michael, there won't be any Liverpool-related ones.
Good.
I think you deserve a break from those. He's the Superman to my Superboy. It is Mr. Mike Malins. I thought I'd give you a nicer one this week.
Oh, thanks. Stop it.
Yeah, I was trying to think of a Liverpool one, and then I thought, no, I won't. I did a family Zoom quiz with Catherine's family last week, and Catherine's nephew is an Everton fan.
Oh, is it?
And it was straight after the game, and he came on the Zoom with... he's got like a green screen in his room that he can do.
Okay, then.
So he put Everton on in the background.
You can do that on Zoom.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, so I don't think he's got.
No. He has actually got a green screen.
Oh, really?
Okay, then. In the back of it. So when he does stuff, he can do stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, he had Everton on the green screen, Everton shirt, Everton scarf, and I was thinking, I know someone who wouldn't want to be on this Zoom call right now.
I had to text an Everton fan going, "Yeah, fair play, congratulations."
They said they were on because they live in Liverpool, and he chose to support Everton growing up. They were on a kind of a Zoom call while watching the game with a lot of Liverpool fans.
Oh, really?
And they were saying that as the game neared to the end, a lot of the Liverpool fans just casually seemed to leave the group, leave the Zoom chat, and him and somebody else were the only ones left in it. But yeah, sad times. But we're going to do more Daft questions anyway this week, Michael.
Cool.
We're not going to talk about Liverpool 24/7. Don't worry. But we're going to do more Daft questions. We've got some good couple of questions this week. We're going to do correspondence in a sec. But Michael, how do people get in touch once again?
People can get in touch via our socials. So we're on the Instagram and the Twitter at adaftquestion. We have an email address, adaftquestion@gmail.com, or even a YouTube channel. Search Daft Question and pop a little comment on the videos.
That email inbox is just gathering dust at the minute now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. There's nothing besides the odd little bit of spam on YouTube.
Yeah, you like open it up. Oh, new email. Oh, someone's just signed in. All your signings to your Galaxy phone. Oh, there's an email. Oh, okay.
No. Do you get the notifications for the emails?
No, it's only if I go on my emails.
Yeah.
See, I've got both inboxes and it'll just pop up. And I'm like, oh, okay.
No.
Which kindly goes into correspondence this week. Michael, have we had any correspondence?
We've had a few. We've had a few, David. Yes. It's a much better and stronger week this week than it has been.
Good.
So we did a couple of things to talk about the marshmallow challenge.
Yeah. I've got something more to say about that, by the way, but go do the responses first.
There's some more excuses coming your way. So, as you probably remember, I destroyed you.
You did.
15-4.
I never realised you'd be so competitive over just how many marshmallows you could put in your mouth.
David, there is nothing. There is no competition, especially with food. There is no competition that I do not want to win.
The thing is, though, I want to do a competition with food where there's a scenario where perhaps I win, so I can see what your reaction is. Because I don't think you take it well. And I don't know whether you don't take it well because you can size up the person you're competing against. So that if, for example, you lost to me, would you be like, that's even worse?
Yeah, I think I would, to be honest, because I've got the bigger belly. And I think in the 15 years that I've known you, 16 years, I've got a better appetite than you whenever we went out for food and stuff like that. So I would put my money on me to beat you. So if you beat me in an eating challenge, I'd be a bit gutted.
I need to think of an eating challenge where I think I could actually do all right in and see if we get on. Promise though, what I would do all right in, you would probably excel at still. So I'm going to think of a really particular challenge for a future episode.
Do you remember the Pizza Hut buffets?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at uni.
Anyway.
So I told Lucy about it, and I said that I got 15 instead of the full packet that she expected me to do. She was a bit disappointed in me, but she was like, I could beat 15. I was like, no, you can't. Yeah, I can. Easy. So her mum got us some packets of marshmallows.
Yeah.
She's like, right, we're going to do this. I'm going to try and beat you. But then yesterday we went for a walk and then Ivy fell asleep. So I continued going for a walk with her. And Lucy was like, right, I'm going to go inside and I'm going to practice, Mike. I'm going to get some marshmallows. I'm going to practice because you had a practice last week. Yeah, fine, no problem. So I got back in. She didn't tell me what she did. She didn't tell me how many she got in. But then we forgot to do it.
Oh, come on.
Unfortunately, we're still going to do it because she thinks she can beat me. So hopefully next week I'll have the answer to that. But she wouldn't tell me the answer. She wouldn't tell me how many she got in me. But I did have a sneak peek in the bin and there was about 10 marshmallows. So I think I'm pretty confident that when we do it, I'm going to win.
This is what I was going to try and do for this week. And obviously life gets in the way. I'm going to, for next week, buy marshmallows. But I believe the size and the structure that I think you had, regular marshmallows, and I want to try it again because I adamantly I'm still at the shape of last week's hindered me, but I also know that I would probably buy the regular size, and knowing me, I'd still do 4. So my goal is I want to do it and still at least beat 4.
Can we do it for next week's podcast?
That's what I'm going to try and do for next week. I want to try and at least break my own record and prove myself wrong. Or do even less, and that would be worse.
That would be very much. Yeah, I just wouldn't even bother. I mean, when you come to do the editing of the podcast and the YouTube, I just cut that out completely. If you did 3 or less,
so I'm going to try and do that for next week. Okay, any other marshmallow related?
So we got our friend at Fighting Pod, Andy Gillard.
Cage Fighting Pod, yeah.
Cage Fighting Pod. I keep getting that wrong. Sorry, guys. He sent us a video.
Yep.
A very questionable video, I must say, because he's trying to say that he did 16, but I think there's at least one moment where he jumps from something like 6 to 8 out of nowhere.
Okay.
He puts 6 fingers in the front of the camera, puts one marshmallow in, then goes 8, and then gets another one. So that's okay, Andy.
So we need some clarity from Andy on that one.
The second one that you pointed out quite a bit is that he keeps going off. He keeps going out camera. So he'll have loads of stuff in his mouth, keep going off camera, doing whatever. Come back. Who's to say he's not eating one or spilling it out, dropping it on the floor, whatever? It's a very questionable attempt from Andy.
So, Andy, we need some clarity on what your attempt that you sent us was.
Very much appreciate him getting involved because he was the only one. But we need a clearer response.
Yeah. We also need some other attempts, please. If you could, you're in lockdown. What else have you got to do, really?
Hashtag ADQ Marshmallow Challenge.
Yeah.
Let's get it trending.
Yeah. I think we need a shortest hashtag as well, firstly.
ADQMC.
Someone else come up with the hashtag. We'll think of it. Yeah, we would like some more challenges, please, and let us know how you get on. Any other marshmallow-related ones?
Nothing about marshmallows.
Okay.
There. We are going on to the banana sandwich.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did you have a chance to try one?
I didn't. I'm going to, again, try and attempt that for next.
Because there was a few people that were a bit shocked that you've never tried.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm going to try it for the sake of the podcast.
Okay.
But for future use, unless it's the taste sensation that I'd be missing out on, then I don't know if I'd consume it again.
As I said, I'm not a massive fan of it now. But yeah, a few are a bit shocked that you've never had a banana sandwich. At Stu J4Z said that banana sandwiches are for pensioners with no teeth. It has terrible texture.
Yeah.
But then at the Bluest Star, again, we're shocked, but suggests banana and peanut butter sandwiches is, and I quote, God tier.
Oh, I'm not a fan of peanut butter anyway, so I couldn't give a
Are you not?
response. I'm not a fan of peanut butter, no.
Oh, I don't think she's going to be happy with you at all, is she?
She's going to prefer one person to the other on this podcast.
Yeah. Boy.
But yeah, no, not a fan of peanut butter.
Oh, I don't know how I feel, David. And Cage Fighting Pod also got in touch about the cold-sided pillow debate.
Yeah.
Didn't really say anything about whether there is one or there isn't one, or prefers it or doesn't prefer it. They have suggested that in IKEA you can buy an actual cold-sided pillow for 40 quid.
I want to get that.
I thought you might do.
Yeah, I do want to get that. I did mention this to Catherine. I said, Mike is not a fan of the cold-sided pillow. She's like, right. You what? You what?
Yeah.
I don't get it, Mike. I don't get it. How can you not be a fan of it?
I can't remember doing it, really.
Wait till this summer, because global warming and all that, it's going to get hotter anyway. Wait till this summer, and you'll be there going, I really want the cold pillow, but for my own, not to prove David wrong, I will not turn this pillow over.
And then very quickly, we put 2 polls up on the Twitter sphere, and I'm pleased to say that everyone prefers pizza for their takeaway for the rest of their life, and people prefer a beach day. Boom!
How many votes were there, by the way, on those polls?
That doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, David.
Democracy prevailed. That's all that matters.
One might have got 8, one might have got 9, but it doesn't matter. The people have spoken, and it's locked in.
And how many of your other Twitter accounts we don't know about went on and voted?
Just the one. Just the one.
Okay, then. That's good to know. Any other correspondence last week?
That is all we have, to my knowledge, David. Unless you're going to tell me there's a YouTube one.
No, Hobbs hasn't put a comment on for the last couple of episodes, which I'm disappointed
we finally
at.
talk about him, and he doesn't bother now.
I know, yeah, exactly. So please put comments on Hobbs, or if you've got YouTube, why not put a comment on? You watch our faces, at least put a comment on. Okay, so that's correspondence this week. Let's get cracking into the first question of this podcast. Michael Bread. Look, bread, glorious bread. One of those lovely things. We're talking about the food, of course, not the 80s TV show.
Yeah.
Which my mum and dad, when I was a kid, used to have a video of it.
Really?
And I used to look at it going, what is this? Is it about bread? It looks like people are on it, though. I had no idea.
I don't remember growing up watching it, or my mum really talking about it. Porridge, the other breakfast supplement, my dad enjoyed porridge. And I remember watching porridge, and that was quite funny, but not bread.
bread. No idea what it's about. I'm sure I could Google it
No,
afterwards.
I have no idea what it's
But
about either.
Whether they all were bread makers, I don't know. But it was. I bet you it did nothing
They
to
all
do with
work in
bread.
Warburtons.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you've got nothing to do with bread whatsoever. But anyway, someone tell us afterwards. Yeah, bread. Anyway, we all like it. Sandwiches, toast,
Fried bread.
other things that you consume bread with
Oh, I'm getting a full English at the weekend, David, for my birthday.
for your birthday.
Yeah. And I thought I'll tell you because of what we said last series about the ultimate full English.
Oh, okay. So are you going to be asking for all the elements of that?
We've already done the Tesco shop.
Yeah.
And I've got everything that I've said. I'm not really asking for fried bread because it's going to be a lot for her.
Yeah.
But I've said 4 bacon, 4 sausage. I've got my spaghetti hoops. I've got my black pudding. I've got my scrambled eggs. I've got my hash browns.
Yeah.
I've got my toast. I've got my can of Coke.
You'll have to do a picture.
Yeah. I will do.
And say, is this the ultimate?
No. Not is. This is the ultimate.
And then you should say, comment if you disagree and disable comments. Anyway, bread. We're talking about bread. Now, when you get a loaf of bread, it's sliced up and you have loads of pieces for you. But my question, Michael, is there any point to the end pieces, i.e. the crusts?
Yeah, generally, they're always left, aren't they?
Just for the YouTube people, can I say it's always odd when you're not wearing your glasses?
Really?
I'm so used to you wearing your glasses. You look so different.
Very quickly, 3-4 years ago, we went to the park with some friends and their kids, and most of them went into the shop. And it was just me and her outside, and she's talking away to me, and she's looking around as she's talking. And I took my glasses off to clean them as I just did, and she's talking, turned around, stopped mid-flow, and just went, "You look so different without your glasses on." I was like, "Oh right, okay, cool."
Yeah. Anyway, crust and pieces.
Yeah, Lucy never touches them. She always leaves them. And now it gets to, and I don't know if this is a dad thing or whatever, even though I'm only 10 months into being a dad. I'm like, well, I'm not wasting it. Yeah, I'll have the crusts.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be and I thought about this, if I went to a hotel, and I got some toast or whatever, and one of them was a crust, I'd be pissed off.
I don't ever, from my experiences going to hotels over the years, I don't remember seeing crusts.
No, I don't think I've never remembered a time where, as I said, because otherwise I'd been peed off, but I can't remember a time where I've got toast and one of them's the crust.
And could you imagine if it's not an offer and you're the customer saying, "Oh, have you got any crusts?" And you're the person going, what? I've got to open up another loaf now just for crusts.
Guys, there's actually someone here that wants a crust. Yeah. Guys, gather around. Come here, let's take a picture. Can I take a selfie, mate? Come here.
But yeah, I'm with Lucy. I'm awful. I just leave the crusts. Can't be doing with them.
I think, but it's also as well, size-wise, it's the smallest one. So you don't get a big enough area for your butter or your jam or Marmite, or for me, peanut butter. There's not that much of a surface area. Whereas if you sneakily, as I may or may not do, rummage in the bread bag, pull out the 2 thickest, biggest pieces, and then put it all back together, and then put it in the toaster. Nobody knows then.
You sneaky bastard.
Completely different to getting that small size of the crust.
And also, for me, if I have it of a sandwich, I like to know that the texture of the bread is on both sides. Whereas I don't like the texture of the actual crust layer. Why? And I'm sure if I'd done a bit more research for this, I could have found out why don't they sell loaves of bread without the crust, or is there something to do with the crust that they need to keep it on, or is it just the sake of there's no point in just throwing out 2 pieces?
Yeah, I think it's that. There isn't. I mean, let's be honest, are you that bothered that it comes with a crust? You might not eat it, or you do if it's towards the end. It's like, right, we've got nothing else. I'll use the crusts, but. Are we as a society that bothered about crusts that if we had one with a crust either end and one without a crust, we'd buy the one without a crust?
I guarantee you, if it was on offer that you could buy a loaf of bread without a crust, that would outsell easily the crust version.
If both of them were the same price, what would you pick up?
At the same price?
Yeah.
The non-crust version.
Really?
Just because I'm not using the crusts. So why would I buy one with crust?
So you would not. There's no real scenario or circumstance that you would eat either crust.
Not really. If I was that desperate for a piece of toast,
Right.
I'd probably have it. Catherine likes the crust. She'll always have the crust.
Right. So, okay. So you're thinking purely for yourself here. You're
Yeah,
not thinking of your family or your wife, your
No.
beloved David. You're thinking, no, sod you all. Just for me, I'm having the ones without the crust.
Yeah, exactly. I'll buy my own loaf of bread if it's just for me then.
Have you got any bread, love? Yeah, but it's only for me. You need to go to co-op yourself, girl.
You can 20p a piece if you want one.
But yeah, it's like being back at school. This.
Yeah, I just what is that?
Don't know. I can imagine that's what kids do behind the bike shed selling
Is that
sauce.
kids sound like 20p a slice, 20p a slice? What's that? Have they got like a massive overall coat and opening up with pieces of bread?
Yeah.
Or I've got some premium thick Warburton slices here if you want one, but that'll cost you. That's dear.
And the other side of the jacket, it's like one of them charts. It's white in one end and really burnt in the corner. It's like, which one do you want? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Which one? I've got them all. 20p, 20p.
I've only got 10p. What can it? Well, I've only got these. These are my budget range.
These go out today.
I've got half eaten brown slice. If you want that, I can probably give you that. And then maybe lower down the jacket, they've got like your sourdoughs, your proper premium. Like that. There is
no. I imagine the sourdough would be in like a briefcase.
Oh,
like, have you got anything else? Hang on.
Yeah.
Let me show you. These are 35p a slice. 35p a slice.
What? Yeah. It's like, what have you got? What have you got on you? What money have you got on you? Well, I've got this. Oh, yeah. You can get some of this. Yeah. There's a near to me. There is like I would call quite a trendy bakery.
Okay.
It's where one of the times you came down, we went for breakfast there.
Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, it's nice.
And they do loads of sourdough. They're kind of known for their sourdough bread. And I went there a few weeks ago to get some bits, and I said, "Oh, can I have a loaf of sourdough as well?" And school, yes. Would you like it sliced or not sliced? My brain just went confused.
Really?
Because at first I was like, "Oh yeah, no, you don't need to slice it. Just give me it as it is." And as they were putting stuff in, like getting the bread, I was like, "Why wouldn't I want it sliced?"
No, I'd have said not slicing that scenario.
Really?
Yeah, because I can then have as thick of a slice as I want. I'm not being told or there's no predetermined result of how thick my bread can be. So there's nothing like a doorstopper kind of sandwich, especially with like a sourdough loaf. So I could accidentally cut into a really thick slice and then just have this massive whopper of a sandwich.
See, I think for me, it was like, I can't be bothered to go home and now have to cut individual slices of bread.
Yeah. I know
you're going to give it me sliced. That's great. I remember in Purton, where my mum and dad lived, when the Sainsbury's there got completely hauled.
Okay.
They brought in a do-your-own bread slicer.
Oh,
which I've never seen. It only lasted about 2 or 3 years, and it then disappeared. I think my sister used to work there, one of my sisters, and she used to say that people complained that there was a mechanism to allow you to slice your own bread. And I was like, what? There was already sliced bread available, as you would buy usually, but you could also buy whole loaves of bread that weren't sliced. So a bit fancier, I would say, that you can put in the machine. You just plonk it in the machine, and it would do it. You could actually watch it slice all the bread, come out, put in a bag, done. And people complain that service is on offer.
Shut up.
Exactly. Anyway, so that's what you do. It's a clear screen. You put the bread in, and it would slice it up for you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. I don't know what my point was now.
Well, we were talking about crusts.
Yeah. And you were talking about the door stoppers. What other uses could you have for the crust instead? Because I think you could use it as a door stopper.
Earmuffs.
Yeah, earmuffs. Yeah,
earmuffs. If you've got a nice little elastic band over it or something. Earmuffs. Have you seen that meme of Gordon Ramsay, the idiot sandwich?
No.
So he did it, and I don't think a lot of people know this, but he did it as like a sketch for an American TV show, I think it was. And it was like he had some celebrities or random people or whatever, and he was basically going over the top in his like Hell's Kitchen kind of program. And one of the things he did, this woman was speaking to him, and he got 2 slices of bread, stuck them either side of her head, and went, "You're an idiot sandwich! You're an idiot sandwich!" Or something like that. And it's become quite the meme. But I think a lot of people don't realize that he didn't actually do that in real life. It was just part of a sketch.
Oh, okay. So noise cancelling headphones, basically using crusts. Okay.
A bra, I imagine.
Okay, yeah.
If you just ran out of slices of bread. It's like, oh, what can we do with these? Oh, these need a bit of support. Bump.
Okay, so you got to make sure you attach the string so there's enough support as well.
Yeah.
Okay,
This will be on one of these like life hack videos. We should search if there's any crust-related life hack videos.
So we've got a bra, we've got a doorstop, we've got some noise-cancelling headphones. Obviously, anyone listening, give us your suggestions of what else you would use the crust for.
Yeah. Hashtag ADQ crust challenge.
I think what else you would use a crust for that you could do in.
Could you do like padded paints? I think people can use them for like paints. So instead of getting the pads, you can cut bits out and dab it and whatever.
I was going to say you could use it as a sponge for washing up, but then it actually just gets soggy quite quickly.
Yeah, and it'll deteriorate, I think, quite quickly.
Or would it? Because it's
where are you in your life where you? But I mean, saying that I've just come up with a bra. But where are you in your life where you need the crust to clean your dishes?
Look, as long as lockdown does ease, as we're all hoping for, if it doesn't, then we need to think of alternative resources. If people are throwing these crusts away, we need to not waste this food. What else? We
need to have the thought process of being at war. What would they have done at war?
Ta-ta-ta, I'm just washing my dishes. Oh, have you got any more crust? I've just used half and it's gone already. Give me another one.
I've still got seven cups and 5 dishes to do here.
Can you go to shops and buy me a bag of loaves, a bag of crusts? You imagine for those who really love crusts, I wonder if they would ever sell just a loaf of bread, but it was just crusts.
Who loves a crust?
People must. I
don't mind them, and as I said, like I'll have them just so they don't go to waste. But who looks at a loaf of bread and goes, "Oh, I can't wait to get either side of that."
Something else you could do with a crust, with playing cards, where you can build either houses or you can stack them up. If you get loads, you could do that.
That'd be impressive.
Them up. And
like if you did like a house of crusts, essentially, and you managed to get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 tiers or whatever, that would be very impressive.
Someone with the best Photoshop skills needs to get the House of Cards poster and replace it with House of Crusts.
Okay.
That would be very good.
And then give it us, and then we'll put it on Instagram without any credit at all.
Yeah, exactly. We'll take all the credit. Yeah, but I think guess with the crust, because it kind of is oval slightly at the top. I guess you could do it. Someone buy a lot of crusts and try it out. We want to see. Okay, so Michael was saying crusts then. Is there a point in them? Yay or nay?
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe.
I think it keeps the bread together.
Yeah.
Does it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm saying no, but we're saying meh, maybe. Okay, that's crust of bread done. It's time for listener questions. Right, it's time for listener questions, everybody. This is the part of the show where you send in your questions and we'll try and answer them as best as we can. Of course, we'd like to know your own answers to these questions that other people send in. So, Michael, once again, we're going to annoy people until they actually do it. How can people send their questions in?
You can send your questions via Instagram and Twitter at adaftquestion. You can email us adaftquestion@gmail.com. You can search for us on YouTube, adaftquestion, and pop us a comment.
Oh, lovely. Right, questions, Michael, what have we had in
questions?
This week?
We've had some good ones this week.
Good.
Yeah. So one from our friend, the second Tobias Hogg 2.
Good.
He gave us 2 this week, but we're going to read out 1 because unfortunately Cage Fighting Pod got involved in this one.
Okay.
So his other one we'll wait till next week. But he's asked us, really weird, gross question. Rank the body fluids from what you'd most hate to be in a pool of to what you'd least hate. Right? But then Cage Fighting Pod have come in and said, at their request, they'd like us to use only the official medical terms for each substance.
We're going to Google this now, haven't we?
Well, I've come prepared, David. I've Googled.
Oh, good.
Well, I've Googled what I can because I don't think I can find one for sick.
Okay, so what is your scale then with the medical terms?
So I think from worst to least worst.
Yeah.
I think you've got to go feces first.
Yeah. Okay.
That's poo for you and I.
Yeah.
Following that, I think, and this is the sick. I think would be third. I can't find a medical term for sick. Is there one for sick?
There probably is, isn't there?
I've been sick.
I always said vomit, but Shakespeare invented the word vomit.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, no, little fact for the day.
Look at this.
Look at that. And that's only because on my watch, I've got an app called Fact of the Day. And when I pressed it once, it said it on there.
Have you got a smartwatch?
I have, there.
Is it worth it?
I would say so, yeah.
Because me and my brother last week, he was like, because he's doing a lot of running now and cycling, to be fair to him, and he wanted some sort of watch to keep track of that. And he asked, we were talking about smartwatches, and I like the idea of them. I just feel they might be just a waste of money, personally.
I think if you're doing a lot of what your brother's doing, like running and cycling and that, I think it's definitely worth it with keeping track of if you've got any goals you're going towards. Because I do bits and bobs of that, but it's weird now that I've got used to it. So if I don't have it on, it feels strange. And also if I'm working and if a message come on my phone, it can come up on there. And then I have to get my phone out. If me and Catherine are trying to put the girls to bed, and we keep each other up to date of how we're getting on.
Okay.
So rather than me having to get my phone out, if I'm trying to get one to sleep, I can just see a message pop up on my watch to say, "How you getting on?" Or I'm at this point.
Can you reply back?
It gives you it gives you predetermined messages. You can reply back straight away.
Oh, okay,
you can't type it out. But some of them you're easily like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'll press that one," and that gives a straightforward answer. But
right.
yeah, I think.
Are you one of these pricks though that pays with your watch?
No, I haven't got that
Good
far
man.
yet.
Good
No.
man. Right.
Note to self to never try to do that.
So we've had feces fourth for me.
Yeah.
Sick/vomit is third. I'm then going for nasal mucus, which is snot.
Okay.
I could see on your face you're a bit baffled what I meant by that, David. And then lastly, I'm going urine. And I think that's it, isn't it? Probably. Am I right? There's no more body fluids that come out of you.
Well, there is. Yeah, there is another one that comes out of you. Would you want that? Would you want that? What? Okay. I'm just going to sit here. There we go.
Oh, yes. Right. Oh.
Now where does that come? Where's that go on the
Depends
list?
if it's mine or someone else's.
Let's go with someone. Okay. Let's go with someone else's because because you are in the pool and it's likely to be someone else's. Right.
Okay. That'd have to be foot. Right. So we've obviously got 5 now. That'd have to be feces, then sperm.
Okay. So we say what feces, sperm? We're saying it's the worst, or it's just below.
No, feces is the worst.
Yeah, and
then sperm.
Okay.
Then sick, then snot, then urine.
Okay.
Or mucus, whatever I said, fluid, nasal mucus.
You say urine. You say urine. I say urine.
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 Urine. Yeah, urine. Is it? Oh, yeah. I wonder what it is.
Other people will have to suggest.
You're right. Urine. Yeah, 100%. But urine. I wonder if that's. I feel like I might have gone a bit posh there.
My Mary, and I don't know where she's got this from. She'll pronounce her R's as in AR in a word very poshly.
Oh.
But neither Catherine or I say it like that. So let's say garage, right?
Okay.
She will say garage. I'll say garage.
Garage. Has she watched Downton Abbey?
No, and I don't. She says it every time she says it. In my head, I'm like, "Oh, that's really posh." And I'm thinking, where has she got? Like, I don't say it like that at all. So I don't know where. I'm trying to think.
Any of her teachers posh?
I don't know.
TV programs?
I don't think so, unless you're counting Paw Patrol as one. But
I mean, I don't know Paw Patrol.
I'm trying to think of other words, but basically, anything with an R in it. I'm like, what are you saying all that for? Just garage. Just garage. Just say it like that. Okay, yeah. So that's the lineup of that. I would agree with that. I've got no differentials on that one. Right. Okay. Other questions from listeners?
Yes. So we've got one at MLPod.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I know where he's going with this. A mate of mine. Is there any fashion mistakes you've had that you actually thought were okay growing up?
Now, that's because you've done something, I'm guessing, Mike.
Well, I mean, I've done a few, to be fair. A few came to mind, but I've got a feeling there's one in particular that he's on about because him and my mates always talk about it. So there's one in particular that I've done.
I don't know. I think I was always just very boring when it came to clothes growing up. I remember going through an emo phase where I used to buy the really long denim trousers. You know, the ones that were really
with the flares at the bottom.
yeah.
And you'd stand at the back, and then they'd all rip and
Yes.
stuff.
And looking back now, I'm like, really? Did I really do that? But I mean, that's the boring only example I can think of. Michael, how about yours? Let's talk about yours.
I think you probably saw a couple at uni. I got a leather motorbike jacket.
Yeah, I remember that.
Which it was an all right jacket, but I went through a phase, and this will be the second thing I tell you. I went through a phase of wanting to be a pretty boy, not having the face of the body for a pretty boy. So I wore this brown leather biker jacket, thinking, "Yeah, I'm really cool."
Yeah.
And I wasn't. But I do remember, right, very quickly when I bought that about a week or two before I started uni with my uni loan. I mean, it was very much don't waste your money, don't waste your money.
Yeah.
And I think me and my mate went shopping for it. We came back and we were going out again that night, and I put it on. And this is a period where me and my brother just like we hated each other. We weren't mates or anything like that. We didn't get on. And I put it on before I went out. Everyone was like, "Is that jacket new, Michael?" And out of nowhere, my brother swooped in and went, "Oh no, he's had it ages, Mum," and then walked out again. And I was like, "Oh, you fucking legend!" And my mum was like, "Oh right, okay." And I just left the house. I was like, "Where did that come from?" We hated each other.
Did you ever ask him why he couldn't?
I don't know if I did. I don't think I did at the time.
Maybe you need to ask him now.
So leather jacket.
Okay.
I had both ears pierced, which you'll remember. I don't know if I regret that as much, but again, with my bleach blonde hair, going through the pretty boy, but not actually being a pretty boy phase.
Yeah.
My boy band phase, I like to call it.
Yeah.
I don't think it really suited me. Me and Jamie, my mate, we went through a phase of growing our hair, and I can't remember if you saw this because it was in the summer of first and second year at uni, and I can't remember if I got rid of it before
probably
start of second year. But I had long hair. We both had long hair with a headband.
Maybe. I think I have some kind of memories of that.
Yeah, maybe you did because I wanted to go out as a man bun at the time. I put like Beckham had that ponytail thing, and I wanted to do that, but I didn't in the end. But I remember at the time we didn't really know much about hair products and stuff, and we couldn't find anything that would put our hair back, hold it, but nice and loose and shiny, like a slick back version. We couldn't find anything like that, so we got some VO5 foam that was put in our hair, put the headband on. An hour later, if you took the headband off, it'd all stay in place. You'd just see the dent of where the headband was. So there's that. But the one I think at ML Pod might be talking about is I went through a phase of wearing, remember Lip Biscuit, Fred Durst?
Yeah.
Fred
Durst, yeah. Fred Durst, yeah.
I bought a red Arizona Hard Rock Cafe hat when I went over there. Wore it backwards. On top of that, I decided to wear, and this is when I went to the youth group every Friday night, fingerless black leather gloves.
I would love to have seen this look.
There's a photo on Facebook. There is definitely a photo on Facebook, and shades as well. So there's me with this red cap backwards, black shades, black fingerless gloves.
I need to see this picture. That's incredible.
There is, like I said, unfortunately, there is photos on Facebook.
Okay, we need to see that.
And someone will have it, I think, that listens to this, and no doubt they'll send it me, and I'll send it you, and maybe put it on Instagram.
Okay. Any other questions for listeners?
Yes, very, very quickly. At Richard Hobbs 6 has basically said, best service station that isn't that one in Gloucestershire.
Have you been to the one in Gloucestershire?
I don't think I have. I might have done. Now, he goes on to say, also, what makes a good service station needs to be simple to get in and out of and has a decent outdoor space.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one of those like, oh yes, that service station, it's such a thing is really nice, but that one gave us really bad problems or whatever. So I don't know if I've been to the one in Gloucestershire.
The Gloucestershire one is top notch. It's very fancy. It's like a proper. It's not even a service station. It's just like a high end, upper class shop.
Really, what's there?
It's non. There's no like WH Smiths or anything like that. Everything's just organic and spacious.
Right.
It just feels like somebody in the upper classes just wanted to make a service station just for them.
Right.
How would it look like? This is what it would look like. You go in there and you think, oh, we'll have a sausage roll, but it's an organically made sausage roll that costs £7. I'm not going to pay for that.
Well,
where's the Greggs?
This sounds familiar to one. If you go to Edinburgh or Scotland, there's one as you're leaving, I think it is, on the way back. It's like a farm shop service station. And the food there, like your sausage rolls, your pork pies, I suppose your quiche, if you're into quiches, are so nice.
It's probably near the kind of the same concept then,
Yeah.
I would say. But service station, what? Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say it's Lucy's favourite service station by far.
Service station-wise, I'm a massive fan. Going on a motorway, I don't know why, I'm just a massive fan of service stations.
Yeah, okay. So you are one of those that go, yes, I like this one over here, but I'm not too fond of that one because of X, Y, Z. But oh yes, I managed to stretch my legs out on the X. On the
I'm one of those
65.
I'm one of those people where you have it in conversation. Go, oh yeah, that Bristol one's quite nice, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Service station wise, I think. Look, what are the basics of a service station that makes it good? I think it's got to. I don't think it should have a Mackey's. I think a Burger King is classic service station.
Yeah.
Have a Burger King. It's got to have a Smith's.
Yeah.
I think, and then after that, it's got to have something unique that you wouldn't usually get. And so I think a Greggs is a good option as well. But it's got to have something unique as well, food-wise, that you wouldn't usually get somewhere.
So
Like
what's yours?
Like you turn up and you're like, bloody hell, it's got one of those in a service station.
Okay.
Like, does it have not a dunk? What's it called? It's not Dunkin' Donuts. What's the donut?
Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme. It's got to have a Krispy Kreme's there.
Krispy Kreme is in my favourite service
Even
station.
if it's just the little, just a little stand of Krispy Kreme, not the actual outlet. I think, and it's also got to have the option of where you can get a really expensive breakfast. Service station breakfasts are ridiculously priced. Do you not remember at uni once we went to Telford for the day, and all I kept talking about was going for a service station breakfast?
Yes.
And we turned up and we were too late, and I was like sank to my knees.
Yeah,
I was like, no. Yeah, it's got to have an ability to get an all-day breakfast, a Burger King, a Greggs, Smith's, and be quite spacious, I would say.
Okay.
What would you have in your service station?
Well,
your dream service station.
So we just talk about dream service stations.
Yeah,
not particularly what my favourite is. Just the,
look, if you've got a particular favourite, you can put out there.
I think I have got one, and I think it ticks all the boxes that I'm looking for in a service station. Knutsford service station.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So you've got a Costa.
Yeah.
Which is my favourite coffee brand.
Yeah, actually, it's got to have I would say Starbucks for me.
Okay.
But go on.
But you're an Apple fan as well, aren't you? So everyone who's an Apple fan likes a Starbucks because it's trendy. Yeah. Right. So a Costa, there's an M&S Simply Food there.
Yeah.
Nice
okay.
Food.
Yeah.
Nice food. You've got a WH Smith, which I'm not a massive fan of at service stations because it's expensive as it is in the high street WH Smith. If you go to service stations, it's twice the price of that.
Yeah, but that's like petrol though, is a service station.
Yeah, we just don't get. You top up before you leave, David. You don't get petrol at the service station if you can avoid it. But there's a Burger King, there's a Greggs, and there's Krispy Kreme.
Yeah,
I'm not bothered about outdoor space.
It depends what the weather's like, I guess, and it depends how long you are planning to stay there. Usually at service stations, you're either going to the loo quickly or you are going to eat something, but it's fast food. It's not just to stay there for ages. You know how at service stations, they always say you've got a limit of 2 hours free?
Yes. Yeah.
I always like to think of the people who are purposely staying for longer than 2 hours.
To get the full Knutsford services experience.
Yeah. Okay, service station wise, great question, Rich. Other people, let us know what your ultimate service station is, or if you have any preferences, of course. Any other questions this week?
We've got one from the second Tobias, but we'll do that next week.
Okay, so listener questions done. Make sure you get them in, please, and give us your answers to those questions as well. It's now time for surprise question. Surprise question time, everybody. This is the part of the podcast where Mike and I will ask each other a completely surprise question off the cup, no planning whatsoever into it. For this week, it's Michael's turn for surprise question. So, Michael, what is your surprise question?
I want you to imagine a scenario that you're driving down a country road.
Okay, yeah.
And a UFO lands right in front of you.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. And you get out of the car and they get out of the spaceship and they confront you. And They have one question to ask you,
Okay.
and you need to answer it, basically. The question is, what does water taste like?
Okay. I mean, I'm more baffled for the fact that could have been any other scenario beforehand.
I felt like I needed to put a bit of a storyline to it.
What does water taste like? Oh, I promise I can't say nothing because that is literally the answer. It tastes like. The problem is that how do you describe that to an alien when they perhaps have no concept of other concepts on Earth, of words and textures? That's
why I did. That's why I did the alien bit.
That's impossible. That is, surely.
Okay, let's just okay. Like, because I'm stumped. I'm stumped. To be fair, I've given you the question because I want to know the answer. But let's just say the alien has some knowledge of your basic stuff in Earth.
Yeah.
And they know what water is, but they've never tasted it, and they want to taste it, and they want the recommendation to taste it. David, how would you describe the taste of it?
It tastes like a cool summer's day. I don't. Again, it's like you would say. Promise you would say liquidy, but that's what it is.
Liquidy. It's hard, isn't it? It's an hard one.
And again, if you have a drink of water, and then are you swilling it round your mouth in order to figure out yourself what the taste
like
is?
Like a fine whiskey drinker.
Yeah, just like I'm getting nothing from this. Yeah. Would you say there's an element of understand where I'm coming from here? Silk. Because it's quite smooth.
Oh,
do you see what I mean? Like
that's a good answer.
Because if you swirl it around your mouth, it all kind of gets a bit rough as well, I would say. But if you have it in your mouth, doesn't sound right at all. If you have it in your mouth, just leave it as it is.
Yeah.
Anything else to say?
That's a good shout, actually. I'll tell you something. That is a good shout. It tastes like silk. How you would imagine silk to taste like.
Yeah. There we go.
So you fill silk and you put it in your mouth.
I've answered the question.
Yeah, okay.
Give me the Nobel Prize now.
I once heard or read, I think, someone describing the taste of fizzy water.
Yeah.
And they said it tastes like static TV.
The thing is, I get that. I do get that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great answer.
Static TV.
It tastes like static TV.
I've got some fizzy water in the fridge.
Have you?
So I'm going to have a glass in a bit, and I'm going to go, it does taste like static.
Say it in front of Catherine, right? Don't mention this. Say it in front of Catherine and just see what her response is. See if she agrees or not.
Yeah. Okay, I will do. All right, that's a great surprise question, Mike. Thank you. I'd like to know what other people think. What does water taste like?
Yeah.
How would you describe it?
ADQ water challenge.
Right, okay, we're going to get on to the second and the last question of this podcast. Michael, Thomas the Tank Engine. What a classic. We all probably watched it at some point as a kid. I presume you did.
Yep.
Good, because I was getting scared then that this question would be irrelevant.
What is this Thomas and a tank engine?
Thomas Tank Engine, if for some reason you don't know what it is, it's a kids' TV show, bunch of trains, they've all got faces on the front of them, not the scary Cats version, the film. It's like a plane panel.
Not seen Cats.
Have you not seen it?
I do want to see it, to be fair. I know it's been panned, but I do want to see it, but I've just not seen it.
You need to see it because of how batshit crazy it is.
Right.
And how scary it is. They thought the concept of putting human faces on big cats was a good idea.
Is it decent, in your opinion?
Oh, no, it's a terrible film.
Right, okay.
I've seen Cats on the West End. I took Catherine a few years ago around Christmas as a Christmas present. And that was really good. And Nicole Scherzinger was in it. She was one of the main people.
Nice.
One of the main cats, sorry, let's say. She did the classic Midnight song.
Right, yeah.
But we watched it. So I heard it been panned. We obviously both wanted to watch it to see how bad it was. And you watch it and you're like, I can see what you were trying to do.
Right.
But it just has not worked whatsoever.
Fair dues.
Anyway, yeah, so a Thomas Tank Engine, trains, they all talk to each other. They've got a face in front of them. It's not scary. But my question to you, Michael, is how do the faces actually get on the train when the train is built?
Right. Well, I saw this question that you put forward, and I had a few thoughts, but my main thought is, how do you not know that the trains are giving birth to other trains?
Yeah, that was another thought I had. And therefore, you're getting into a whole new world of
You are.
how are they getting given birth?
Is Thomas getting frisky in those those little garages that they're keeping?
Are you trying to say that the fat controller is essentially a pimp of all the trains?
What a hidden backline story that would be. Thomas the Tank Engine after dark.
Yeah.
That'd be like, yeah, if it turned out that just really he is a pimp. And people have a real fetish.
That's the episode title. Is the fat controller a pimp?
Right. So if
are they built and then someone whacks a slab on the front of them and then uses magic and a face appears, or are they birthed out? Are they born from the funnel? I don't know.
I don't know. You've thought more than I have about this. The funnel. I don't know. I would think you'd have to have the body. You'd build the body, and then you've just got a basket of different faces that are just lying there.
What do you want to put? Then like, yeah. What do you want to put? What do you want to put on this train? Boy, girl. It's like what's that board game with the faces that you have? If you say,
Guess who?
Guess who? It's like Guess Who. Boy, girl, Cockney, nah. Northerner, yeah, maybe. Mustache, yeah, put a mustache on.
Weren't the old Scousers though? Because that guy from Beatles did the voices.
Oh, Ringo Starr did the voices, didn't he?
Is there a new one? Is there an update? I'm guessing there's an updated version, isn't there?
Oh, come on. Is there an updated one?
No idea.
Yeah, it's all animated. Yeah, that's another one to watch with Ivy in the next few weeks.
Animated Power Rangers.
When Mary was obsessed with it when she was really little with Thomas, and we went to Thomas Land as well at Drayton Manor.
Oh, sweet.
And that was really good. But yeah, she was obsessed with it. And the animated version, what they did there was really nice, just really nice and sweet, quite calming, really nice. The newer ones they do now, it's just like a massive adventure with like sing songs and like psychedelic cutscenes. And you're watching it and you're like, I'm not a fan of this.
Really?
This has ruined Thomas for me.
And is it voiceover again, or do they all have their own voices?
It's all different voices. So it's there's not in the ones that Mary watched. There was a narrator, but they're all individual voices. The newer ones now, there's no narrator; it's just the voices.
Right.
And Thomas is almost like they're kind of setting up the story. But there was one episode with like a very minor character, and I was like, that really sounds like Olivia Colman. That can't be Olivia Colman. Check the credits, Olivia Colman. What's Olivia Colman doing? Just
Fern Cotton does one of the voices in Teletubbies.
Yes, she does, and somebody else.
Jim
Broadbent,
is he called? Yeah. Mental, that, isn't it?
That's a weird. Right, we're casting for voices for Teletubbies. Fern Cotton, do you fancy a go? Yeah, go on then. Yeah.
Well, I think I remember hearing something that she did it for her kids.
Okay.
Like she just thought it'd be cool for her kids to hear their mum on Teletubbies,
and that's why I imagined for Olivia Colman as well. That perhaps she did like. Also, she won an Oscar and thought, well, I can do whatever I want now.
Yeah.
So why not do a bit of Thomas the Tank Engine?
Yeah.
So I can't think of how else I put the faces on.
I would think it's body first, face second.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you've got the face, and it's like, well, where do we put this face? Like, what do we build it around it? Do we clasp it together and then put the body around it? I would think they'd make. And I don't know, but then do they look to over time? They just get to know the face and think like that personality best suits the long red train.
Do the faces know that they're actually trains, or when they're attached on, they're like, "Whoa, what's going on?"
No, I don't think they do. I think it's very much like a Toy Story scenario, where they're all in the toy shop and they're like, "I want to be picked, but they have no idea what's going to happen or where they're going to go.
Right. Okay. You don't think it's like a weird analogy of what the afterlife is? That when you die,
my word. Go on.
When you die, you become a slab face on a train.
What theory have you heard that anybody's thought that when you die, you become a face on a train?
Yeah. Maybe it's a clever analogy of what someone's version of the afterlife is. This heaven is Sodor, and you are a train on it.
I remember watching a film, and I can't remember what film it was. But this guy, I think, went to hell. He just committed suicide, or I think it was before he was resuscitated to come back to life. But he'd committed suicide, and he was just in this world of faces, like a wall of faces, just moving up and down of the people that had committed suicide. It was so freaky. Quite scared me a little bit. I think I was early teens when I saw it, but it was a freaky film.
Okay.
But it just started moving and pulsating, and people started talking about it and screaming because of what had happened. It was really scary. And your comment of the faces in the afterlife has just reminded me.
So we think
that's
that
a pointless
film,
minute worth of our podcast.
So we think that film is a bridge between our world and Thomas.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
That's where they're stored, and then they're pulled through to Thomas' world.
Yes. Boom. We've sorted it. We've solved it.
Okay. So I think I'm interested to see what other people think, but I'm the concept of it, of where these faces come from, and do they? I presume once the face is planted on the train, they instantly know they're a train. They already know they're a train because there's a slab of faces. Are they screaming out like, "Oh, please pick me! I want to actually have a body for once"? I'm interested to know. I am interested.
I want a body for once.
So train faces, we're saying we don't know, but we want to try and find out more.
Yes.
Okay, lovely. And on that bombshell, Michael, that's it for this week's podcast. Thank you very much for listening. You can get in touch throughout the week, in between episodes, with your questions and your answers to our questions as well. We'd like to know what other people think. Once again, Michael, how can people get in touch?
We've got Instagram and Twitter at adaftquestion, and we have a email address, adaftquestion@gmail.com, as well as YouTube. Search a Daft Question and give us a comment. And just before we go, we've just had a live tweet come in.
Ooh.
Because you may have noticed that I tweeted, we're currently recording the latest episode, and he's come back saying, I'm going to, so this is a uni friend of mine from my Warsaw campus, not the lessons that we had, at @skyblue_boy. And he's put, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. Mike, you need some better competition for food/drink challenges. I have a good history of this from uni. Just saying, David and the Marshmallows, smiling, laughing, crying emoji.
Maybe we might need to get him on one week and have a triple challenge of something. Yes. Okay. Let's think about it. Let's see if we can do something like that. Or
he needs to send a video to us, and then we can see exactly if he.
We have the weekly Michael Food Challenge where we bring a guest on and you take them on to see who wins.
I'm up for that. that. Okay. I'm not saying nobody can beat 15. I'm quite proud of 15, so I'm up for the challenge.
If there's anybody listening where you have a food challenge that you know you're good at, that you want to challenge Michael on, then we could bring them on and try and do it on the recording.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, anyway, I'm up for that. Depending on what the challenge is, I'm up for that.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening. For this week, it's bye from Mike.
And it's bye from David.
It's bye from me. See you next time.